Good evening, friends. Welcome to Club Passim. Thank you all for making your way here on this Monday night for our Discovery Series, our Iguana Music Fund showcase, where we highlight to you some of the programs that were funded through the 2022 Iguana Music Fund. I want to make a few quick housekeeping announcements before we get started. We need to point out exits for you. We have an emergency exit up on stage to the right. There's one back out the way you came in. Alex is serving you tonight. How about a big round of applause for Alex? Keep the aisles clear for them so they can make their way around the room. Be good to them throughout the evening. We've got our newsletters out on the tables that'll bring you through the end of April. If you go to passim.org, you'll see shows into May, June, July, September, and October. Did I get them all? May, June, July, August, September, and October. I skipped a month in there. But there are shows right into the fall up online right now. Back to shows here 7 nights a week. We, as you know, I'm sure many of you, is there anyone's very first time here at Club Passim? Anyone? Maybe a couple of you? Well, this place has been around in Harvard Square for 65 years, but the last 28 of them have been a nonprofit organization. As a nonprofit, we put on concerts here in the room. We have a school of music upstairs, up on the 3rd floor. We have community programs. We'll have an outdoor stage at Harvard Square's Mayfair. There will be several other outdoor series happening through the summer. We've got the Folk Collective, which is a new DEIB initiative that you'll see some posters for out in the lobby in the restrooms and also on the tables. There's some information about that. It's a very, very exciting new program that we've been running here. And one of the ones that has been running here now for 15 years is the Iguana Music Fund, where every year we give out money to artists to help with projects. And here to take the stage and let you know all about what's going on in Iguana Land, please welcome the keeper of the iguana, Abby Altman.
I'm going to change my job title to Keeper of the Iguana. Hello, folks. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Hello to those of you tuned in online, those of you watching this back later. This is one of my absolute favorite nights of the year, where we get to show off last year's recipients for the Iguana Music Fund. As Matt said, the fund is a program that we've been running for the last 15 years, and I want to tell you just a little bit about it and how tonight is going to work, but soon we will get to some music. In the 15 years that we have been giving out these grants, we have given $540,000 to New England-based musicians. And that's due in large part to some very generous donors who approached us and wanted to help fund upcoming artists with new projects, really give them the chance to break out of their mold or to take the next step in their career. And it's also because of your support, of our community support, of our members, of our donors, of our artists coming and taking a chance, making some new music on our stage and trusting us with their projects. So every year we give $40,000 in small grants. Each grant is up to just $2,000. But that is enough to make a difference. There are a lot of artists that say, like, I wouldn't have taken that jump on this project if I didn't get this little push of a grant. A lot of people get funding from multiple sources, so we are just one of those sources. Projects range everywhere from creating a new album, paying for some studio time, to repairing a tour vehicle so that they can go on the road, to buying custom instruments that are particular to their genre or their style, to winterizing the windows in a studio so that they can continue to record year-round and be pillars in the community. So there's so much cool stuff that we get to fund. You can tell I'm excited about it. If you go online to passim.org/iguana, you will see all of the folks that have received grants from us for the last 15 years. But tonight, if you take a look at those great programs with our mascot Leon on the front, our noble iguana there, those programs tonight are going to have project descriptions for all of our 22 projects that were funded this past December. We accept grants, we accept applications every September through mid-October, and then we advertise, what's the word I want? Announce. Then we announce our new batch of iguanas every December. So if you are interested in applying, if you're an artist yourself or you know artists that you think would be a good fit for this, every September They can go, apply for free, and get a chance to get some support from us. So that's the basics. Tonight we do have just five artists that we are showcasing, because we've tried to put all 22 on stage nights, and you don't want to be here until midnight. So I really do encourage you, take these programs home, check them out. They've got people's contact information and really cool descriptions of not only what their projects are, but what these projects mean to them and their careers. So please check those out. But our first showcased artist for tonight is no stranger to the Passim stage. She's been part of the Passim community for many years, and she has received Iguana grants the past 2 years to help with her Power of the Protest song presentations. Please help me welcome Pamela Means.
Thanks, everybody. My country, 'tis of thee. What's the matter with you? Handing out liberty for the privileged few. No justice for the rest of us. You've been crooked and cruel. Time to tear it all down and build something new. Time to tear it all down and build something true. We've been saying it for years, now the video shows it. Reason for rage and tears and fears, now everybody knows it. No more thoughts and prayers, rhetoric is through. Truth and reconciliation, reparations are due. My country, 'tis of thee, let me holler at you. Plenty opportunity for the privileged few. Roadblock for black, brown, poor. You've been callous and cruel. Time to tear it all down and build something new. Time to tear it all down and build something true. Shows it. Reason for rage and tears and fears, now everybody knows it. No more thoughts and prayers, rhetoric is through. But truth and reconciliation, reparations are due. My country, 'tis of thee, let me holler at you. Plenty opportunity for the privileged few. Roadblock for black, brown, poor, you've been callous and cruel. Time to tear it all down and build something new. Time to tear it all down and build something true. Time to tear it all down and build something new. Time to tear it all down, build something true. Thank you very much. So my project is, I guess I won some Mass Cultural Council grants last year and this year. Like all of my musician friends, in 2020 and 2021, we had only tumbleweeds in our gig calendar. So in 2021, I had 5 gigs, all of them outside, 2 of them in a parking lot. And in 2020, I was offered the parking lot gig. I was offered, hey, you want to play in the parking lot of East Hampton City Hall? And I was like, no. And that's when we thought it was all going to be over in like 3 months or so. And then the following year, I got the call, hey, we still got that parking lot in downtown East Hampton if you want. I'm like, yeah, let's do spring and fall. Let's do this. And I did. And so at one of my non-parking lot gigs in 2021, the organizer told me about the Cultural Council. She said there's this thing called the Mass Cultural Council, and they give money to towns across the state so they can bring art and culture to their towns. And and Billy Bob the Juggler is getting all the money, and no musicians are applying for this wonderful resource. And there is a juggler who's quite busy doing balloon animals at libraries across the state. So he's probably got 3 or 4 properties he's maintaining with that kind of revenue he's pulling. But anyway, I thought of Pamela Presents the Power of the Protest song, where I could still be myself and do my thing, like that was a song I wrote, and have reason to learn more and important protest songs throughout the last century plus of our country. And I didn't know how to do any of it. I got a lot of help to apply for those Cultural Council grants, and there are 329. Any town in Mass can have a local council, and I would have cut and pasted my application 329 times, except you had to have a conversation with people and find venues who would commit to hosting you. And Matt Smith committed to hosting me last year, and I got to do that show here at Club Passim last fall. And I didn't think that I could call him again and be like, yeah, remember that show I just did? Can I just repeat that exact same thing this year? And so I hit up libraries this year. And so between last year and this year, I won 52 artist grants to do Pamela Presents a Power Brothers. Thank you. And I applied for an Iguana grant last year, and I won a grant with funds so I could buy a sound system so I could do these gigs and be prepared for whatever the situation was. And I applied again for an Iguana grant, and this year for the idea of getting a portable projector and screen so that I can learn PowerPoint now and create a hybrid version and take this into all kinds of, primarily schools, but who knows, just everywhere else. Okay, so the show that I do, this one is pretty much 50-50 originals and covers, and so this is I think one of the most important protest songs of all time, which is Strange Fruit. And it was begun as a poem in 1939. There's a Massachusetts connection to this song, and that is, it was written by a man named Abel Meeropol, and under the pen name Lewis Allen, which were the names, first names of children he and his wife had. And Abel and Anne, his wife, were also friends with Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. And when they were executed in 1953, the Meeropols adopted their two orphaned sons, Michael and Robert, who grew up with the Meeropol name and became activists, and founded the Rosenberg Fund for Children, which is headquartered in East Hampton, Mass. And it's an organization that supports and advocates for political activists who've been persecuted, jailed, or whatever, supports them and their families. And, so, to bring you all the way down, here's Strange Fruit, which, you know, imagine Billie Holiday singing the song when it was brand new, 1939, 1940, and so on. It's still a mess. It's still devastating all these years later. So anyway, I'm going to play this for all the students cramming the halls in the Tennessee State House. Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black buddy swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh, the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, the rain to gather, the wind to suck, sun to rot, tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter cry. Thank you so much. So one more for you. I'm working my way back onto the Passim gig calendar, so come back and see me. And thank you to Matt and Abby and Club Passim and the Iguana Fund. This is called Sing for Love, which which I feel is my job if you just reduce it to its smallest purpose. This started on the day of the Uvalde massacre, in my own pool of snot and despair. Hands on the trigger, along with legislators who let the loopholes linger. Law of the land loves white supremacy, so none of us are safe, no one is free. I don't think I'll live long enough to see this angry country discover unity, but as long as I got breath in my lungs, I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. Martin Luther King worked to make the world a better place. He said, only love can drive out the hate. Only light can drive out the dark. So hatred shot him down on a Memphis parking lot. I don't think I'll live long enough to see this angry country discover unity, but as long as I got breath in my lungs, I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. Nothing more important than stopping fascism, 'cause fascism will stop us all. The immortal words of Fred Hampton. A Black Panther Party sounding the call. Power to the people, free breakfast for the children. At 21, a freedom fighter, so Chicago police killed him. I don't think I'll live long enough to see this angry country discover unity, but as long as I got breath in my lungs, I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. Fight for justice, I will sing for love. I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. Fight for justice, I will sing for love. Fight for justice, I will sing for love. I will fight for justice, I will sing for love. Thank you, everybody.
That's Pamela Means. She has several of these presentations that she's doing coming up. Just check out her site. Any week that you want, pretty much around Massachusetts, you can find her in a library or around at other venues. So do check that out if you want to see that. She also has a new Thursday residency starting soon in East Hampton if you want to catch some of her other songs as well. Thanks, Pamela, for kicking things off. Up next, we have an artist who is a bit newer to the Passim community. They're actually part of a new initiative here at Passim called the Folk Collective. The Folk Collective is a new program that we started last fall, bringing artists of all stripes together, local artists together, to talk about what is folk music, and to collaborate with each other and to really explore the idea of where is folk, what is folk, where can it go, what do we want it to be? Because folk music is the people's music. So it's very exciting to have them as part of that conversation. But for the Iguana Music Fund, they received funds to record their first full-length studio album. And to play a couple of those songs for you tonight, please welcome up Anju.
Hello, my name is Anju. It is very much an honor and a privilege to be here among the other recipients. This is my first grant that I have received for music, so I'm feeling very excited. I'm going to be sharing a few songs from my debut full-length album. Over the last 2 or 3 years, I was living in my hometown of Minneapolis, living near the Mississippi River, and feeling very inspired by that land, and also experiencing a lot of grief and heartbreak of all kinds, and finding a lot of solace in the land. And so I wrote these songs. I think I was kind of making my own medicine to pull me through that time, and so it's been a very healing journey to be working on this album, and excited to share these songs. This first one is called Every Unanswer, and this is the first time I'm sharing it live, so thanks for being the, the guinea pigs. The feeling stays resonating at the gas station. Hum of the speaker has got me on ache. Wishing for friendships and road trips I haven't had. Wondering when you look back, what do you say? How do you retell the mend and the break? And from where I'm standing, I like the aloneness. There's no one relenting, I'm holding on hope. Sure, I get lonely, but that's when I wrote this. My fingers alchemize hurt into a note. Mending and breaking, they build the same boat. Oh, I swear every dream's made of her, you. I guess my body is sorting through every unanswer. Don't understand what these trances are. Something about the sound takes me to sidewalks, highway overpass, skyline view. Monarch, June and July, mystery multiplier. I felt it and melted for you. I see the water and thunder and ice under my lids. You are telling me twice, nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Still, I swear every dream's made of her, you. I guess my body is sorting through every unanswer. Don't understand what these trances are. Thank you. Part of what the Iguana Fund is supporting is me getting to move beyond my bedroom home recording setup, which is what I've been doing for years, which is great. And I've gotten to go into the studio at the Record Co. And experience what it's like to record in a studio. And that's just been like, it feels very luxurious, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that. This next song is called Dragonfly, and I think it was inspired by feelings of unbelonging that I was feeling, and I think like as a person who's part of the diaspora also, I'm like, where do I belong, and like who's my people, and I think this song emerged from those feelings.
think it's all gone. The heart, the hill, the bird song. All I know is I bided my time by the waterways. The rest is a bedtime tale. Sang myself to sleep on the hardest days, dreaming the seeds to will. Dragonfly, warmest night, summer snow, she falls, spinning wheels, spool of light, cottonwood, she calls. Maybe it's like a spiral, maybe it's like a siren, maybe there's no one meaning, doesn't mean I'll stop trying. Maybe I'm like an earthworm, maybe I'm like a snake skin, shed my tears at sundown, wake to a new day rising. But it's been so long since I had someone to call my own, call my own. Winter without mirrors did me wrong. Just last night the lapping lake called me home, called me home. But it's been so long since I felt like I belonged. Dragonfly, warmest night, summer snow, she falls, spinning wheels, spool of light, cottonwood, she calls. Oh, it's been so long since I had someone to call my own, call my own. Winter without mirrors did me wrong. Just last night the lapping lake called me home, called me home. But it's been so long since I felt like I belonged.
Thank you. Another part of this album journey is that I am growing into my identity as a producer and producing my own work. So this next song I'm going to share is one that has you'll hear kind of the semi-produced track in this song. This song uses a harmonium, which is a instrument that's used in a lot of South Asian devotional music. And this particular harmonium that's been recorded is one that my friend found on Facebook Marketplace, and it's worked great, so grateful for that. And I think in the spirit of making my own medicine and pulling myself through difficult times through music, this next song, which is called Trust, I think was me really affirming for myself places where I can feel belonging, like with myself, in my body, with the earth, and just leaning into the places where I am finding solace and medicinal medicine.
Sky be my witness. Christ within. Oh, eagle call embroidery, spinning into future me. I call for you, I carve the truth in every next breath. Oh, windy road, oh, cawing crow, oh, spiral drawn into the snow. A prophecy you offer me in every next song. A prophecy you offer me in every next song.
Thank you.
And that's Anju. Do you know when that album's coming out? Do you have a date?
Probably in 2024. I'm moving slowly, and I'm trying to honor the slow moving pace.
Awesome. Well, now that you guys have a taste of that, be sure to follow them online. Check out all their stuff. Stay tuned so you can hear when that full-length album comes out, because as you can hear, it's going to be gorgeous. Wonderful. Thank you, Anju. All right. Well, now that you've heard a couple of the projects from this past year, you're probably wondering, how can you help? How can you help more funds get out to these amazing artists? If you would like to help support the Iguana Music Fund, one of the things is being here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting PASIM. It's one of the great parts of being a nonprofit is that we get to focus on supporting artists directly. However that happens, and with the fund, it's very direct. It's very fun to just write them a check and send it off at Christmas, and I get to feel like Santa. Other things you can do, we're going to pass around a little box here. It was free to get in tonight with a suggested donation of $10. Everything that is collected here tonight is going to go back into the Iguana Fund so that we can keep running this and maybe even give out more in future years. So I'm going to send around this box. For those of you who don't have cash, because it is 2023, if you look on like the second or third page of your program, there's a QR code that'll take you to our donation page. You can donate right there. Folks that are online, you can go to pasim.org/support, and that will also, all of that will go to the Iguana Fund for tonight. So let me start this little box around. If you can't afford to throw anything in the hat, don't worry about it. That's not what it's about. But if you can, wonderful. Other ways that you can help, spread the word. We love to have as many artists to choose from, as many project ideas thrown our way as possible. So if you are an artist, if you know artists, if you have folks that you think would be able to benefit from this, let them know. As I mentioned earlier, the application, it's free to apply. It's always free for folks. One of the great parts of having donations for the fund means that we can keep it free for artists and as accessible as possible. So spread the word to your artist friends. Applications will be at pasim.org/iguana from September 1st through mid-October every year. We've been doing it that way for the last 15 years, and so I don't change the dates because that will just confuse people. Just thank you again for coming out, for supporting. Share this live stream with folks. Be sure, do check out the artists that are in the booklet, and you can see ways to support them directly as well. So even if supporting the Iguana Fund isn't your thing, go support these artists directly, because that's how we're going to get more amazing music like this. All right, next up, we have an artist who it's her very first time in the club. It's very exciting to welcome new folks into the PASIM community through the Iguana Music Fund. She is an artist and activist who is a classically trained vocalist and has been using her classical skills to create her own genre and really pioneer a genre called hip-hopera. It's very exciting, yeah. It's some cool stuff. Please help me welcome up to the Passim stage for the very first time, Zakia.
Hello, beautiful people. I can't really see your faces, but I imagine you're very beautiful. How's everyone doing this evening? First, I want to thank Club Passim for having me here for the very first time. That is so exciting. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so honored to be here, and I want to thank the Iguana Music Fund for helping to support my dreams. I'm in the process of completing my debut album, which is really exciting, and the funds from the grant are able to go towards that, and also to help buy equipment for my own home studio, kind of the opposite of Anju, which is so, funny to me, because for me, that's an upgrade. I've been, depending a lot on other producers, and I've realized that sometimes that can kind of hinder the creative process a bit. So I kind of want to cultivate my own agency and take matters into my own hands and learn what that's like, right? So, as was said earlier, I do make hip opera. Not all of my songs are hip opera, though. Sorry, but some of my songs do require a little bit involvement from you. So I'm gonna need you to step out your comfort zone. This first one may require a little booty shaking, just a little bit. And so work what you got in your seat some type of way. This first song is called Big Stuff. And essentially it's about, people who will do anything to be important in society. And the words that kind of repeat throughout the song are, before you say you made it, let's be clear you've understood. You've not achieved a thing if you're the only one who's good. Before you say you made it, let's be clear you've understood. You've not achieved a thing if validation's how you stood. So, yes, that's the theme of the song. So let's get into it. And when it's time to do a little bit moving, and you'll know when the time is, I'll give you the cue, all right? I think we're good now. Oh, it's playing, but there's no sound. Oh, it would help if I turned the volume up, yeah. This is all a part of the show, by the way. I just wanted to see if y'all were paying attention. Here we go. Hey! Ooh! Here we go. She's got money, she's got more cars than she can drive, no more bummy. Walked out the hood and said goodbye, bye-bye, honey. They said when she would not comply, back to crummy. Turns out her power was a lie. Before you say you made it, let's be clear, you've understood. You've not achieved a thing if you're the only one who's good. You hear what I'm saying? Say you made it, let's be clear, you've understood. You've not achieved a thing if validation. This is the dancing part, ready? Zin! All of them really want big, big stuff. They want big, big stuff, but what them want them can't touch. Yeah! All of them really want big, big stuff. They want big, big stuff, but what them want them can't touch. All of them really want big, big stuff. They want big, big stuff, but what them want them can't touch. All of them really want big, big stuff. They want big, big stuff, but what them want them can't touch. Leader, concerned with what his people need. His what's coming. Hey, hey, 1, 2, let me see you move.
All of them really want be big stuff. Them want be big stuff, but what them want them
Hey.
can't touch. All of them really want be big stuff. Them want be big stuff, but what them want them can't touch. All of them really want be big stuff. Them want
Yes, yes, come on.
them really want be
Hey.
big stuff. Them want be big stuff, but what them want them can't touch.
What is advancement to a group of solo souls? What is a table full of seats you don't control? What is a chief that steers his tribe under his feet? They want to be above the people. They want to be above the people. You hear what I'm saying? Hey! Not achieved a thing, only one who's good. Let's be clear, you've understood. Not achieved a thing. Let's be clear, you've understood. Wind your waist. Hey! Wind your waist. Let's be clear, you've understood. You've not achieved a thing before you say you made it. Let's be clear, you've understood. You've not achieved a thing if you're the only one who's good. Before you say you made it, let's be clear, you've understood. The one who wins alone will never win all that she could. Hey, wind your waist. 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 Hey, all of them really wanna be big stuff. I'm so glad y'all actually danced. I really thought I was just gonna be standing here the whole time dancing by myself. I was like, well, we're just gonna have to be awkward. It's okay. So thank you for that. I feel like I'm seen, you know. Yes. So this next piece that I'm going to do is actually a completely different sound. So my album is dedicated to the Black diaspora, so it pulls from a lot of different sounds. And this song is one that I wrote when I was very, very, very angry. There was a case of police brutality that just happened. I honestly don't even remember which one because there's been so many at this point, unfortunately. And I needed my art to help me kind of heal. And so this one also does require some level of call and response, but it's also a bit of an experience. So this is called Rise.
In pursuit of suspect west on High Road.
There he is right there. Cut him off. Hey, you, get over here. Get over here.
All units respond.
Where you think you're going?
Proceed with caution.
I try to keep my patience, but my spirit's growing hardy. Hoping I won't have to tell my predecessors sorry. The time's been up for justice, but as usual we tardy. Cause we've been looking for our invitations to the party. A seat at someone else's table, eating smaller portions. Instead of pooling resources to create a fortune. We conceived our own ones, but opted for abortion. And the ones we brought to life soon became orphans. A black White House created an amnesia. Put even the wokest under luring anesthesia. And we've always got a threat to our development, cause some of these supremacists are out here wearing melanin. We giving accolades to people too quick to forgive and wonder why they keep challenging our basic right to live. All these years still dreaming, MLK, all these tears and they one bill been paid. How many cheeks turn before you just a push over? How long before the chance to turn things around is over? Much respect to King, but now we need to understand we can't afford a dream this time, we really need a plan. Only a fool placates to the morality of people who have yet to face their own innate brutality. And if we really wanted liberty as a reality, we wouldn't ask permission to protect our own vitality.
Rise,
Say rise, fight, grow. Ready? Rise, fight, grow, repeat. Say rise, fight, grow, repeat. Oh, you guys are amazing. Imagine having a stranger stab you in the back, knife all twisted up to leave a trail of blood to track. Then the next day they invite you out to eat, acting like ain't nothing happened, knife still planted nice and deep. I can't think of anything more insulting besides the people who sit down to eat and feel exalted. Thick lips, big bat, fit for just a savage. Fast forward, white girls by them, they the baddest. We could have taken up arms but didn't take a look, cause while this went down our heads were stuck aside a book, praying to a God who saw the chains and turned away. Much like the people he's protected up until this day. Could have had our own Wakanda and built a nation, but we chose integration, begging for representation. We like equality, but prefer to be the token. Narcissism is rewarded by the cultures of the broken. A smile on a black face is revolutionary, but a smile that remains conscious is luminary. So be angry, but never let them steal your joy. Be peaceful, but prepared to deploy. Don't mistake the words that I'm singing in the song. We can still win, but can't repeat what we did wrong. It's not a sorry regret, it's a call to action, to put excuses down and finally make our visions happen. Rise, fight, grow, repeat, yes! Rise, fight, grow, repeat, yes! Rise, fight, grow, repeat. Rise, fight, grow. Wonder why they keep challenging our basic right to live. Some of these supremacists are out here wearing melanin. Narcissism is rewarded by the cultures of the broken. We can still win, but it's a call to action. Make no mistake about it that God will handle your enemies. God said, love thy enemies as you love yourself. Can I get an amen? This young man may be gone today, but tomorrow we will see justice. This young man died in a tragic way, but I believe that God has a plan. I just want justice for my son.
Ground now. Get on the ground.
He never bothered nobody.
Hold him down.
He was a good kid.
He's resisting. Come on, that hurt.
But I have to forgive them for what they done,
Hold him down.
because they gonna have to live with that for the rest of their life.
I can't breathe.
Suspect down. Request EMT immediately.
That was Rise. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Before I bring us back up again, I want to ask if we could have a moment of silence for all the victims of police brutality. Thank you. Finally, we get to hip opera, which I know is what everybody's been waiting on. So, to provide a little bit more background, yes, I am an opera singer, and I realized that I didn't completely see myself reflected in the genre that I was engaging in so much. So,
And I felt this pressure to choose which world I wanted to be a part of, and I didn't want to choose, because why not? I can do both. So that's essentially what this is response to hip opera. There will be more call and response as usual, because that's how we do. So enjoy. Hey, can you put your hands together for me? Yeah, just like that. As your ears consume this opera mixed with rap. It's hip hop. 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 No, I'm not number one, cause I'm in my own category. The perfect blend of evidence and allegory. The perfect supplement to this triumphant story of black renaissance, and it's a sense of glory. Academics like to call it double consciousness. I call it melanin-induced confidence. I call it representing every continent and making sure those asleep are now cognizant. Not really a rapper, but limits don't occur to me. Graduated first, Rip Shot University. They're trying to figure out which box to put me in. I told them pick anyone and I'll make it bend. Whether in the ghetto or at the symphony, I carry my naps like wives carry Tiffany. They call it inappropriate, I call it history. Making black as legit as Becky's sanctity. This for my people that twerk but still read. This for my posse that's bright but smoke. This for them eyes too limited to see. That black is just as Michelle as Cardi B. That black is just as Lupita as it is me. That black never gets in with the keys. That before we can grow we must receive all the forms we're blessed to conceive. Smooth sounds of ebonics. And when they ask why, I tell them that your culture's chronic. Sicker than the flu, but even better yet iconic. And like the people trying to copy it, how ironic. If ethnic ain't professional enough for the corporate, don't assimilate, instead we adjust the orbit. Put your fro in the center of it and absorb it. And come wash, they know that is shit and told it. And yes, justice realize, recognize that Negro-wise. Put respectability, politics aside, and replace it with the strong stride of black pride. As your ears consume this opera mixed with rap, know what the world is lacking and then fill the gap. Now grab your neighbor's hand and join in as we take it back. To never let our wish to fit and compromise our black. Never. I know my history is excellence personified, and if I do embrace it, then that greatness will be multiplied. I promise to reach out to the brethren who forgo the mission. If it's cause they're scared of darkness, give it a new definition. I know black was made to represent all that's bad and evil, only cause power this profound had to be illegal. Attempts to subdue my spirit or enact violence, I speak loud for every long century, my voice was silenced. Hey, now, when I say hip, y'all say opera. Hip. When I say hip, y'all say opera. Hip, yes. Thank you so much, Clephasine. Thank you so much, Iguana Music Fund. Yeah!
That's Zakia. Zakia, do you know when that album's coming out? Do you have a date?
I'm looking at the fall.
Looking at the fall. So keep your eyes out, keep your ears out. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming to Passim for the first time, Zakia, blowing us away. Thank you all for participating as well. Makes it all more fun when we can call and response. All right. Next, I would like to highlight a couple Iguana recipients from this year that are performing soon at the club. This Friday, April 14th, we have Maurizio Fiore Salas. He is going to be playing here with Eduardo Betancourt. Maurizio is a Venezuelan cuatro player. I believe he was the first cuatro principal at Berkeley. He's a fantastic artist, plays with many, many groups, and he received an Iguana Music Fund this year to put together a series of videos portraying the cuatro in many different genres, not only as the traditional folk instrument of Venezuela, it is the national instrument, but also in its newer use in classical music and how it's blending with Western music. So do come check that out this Friday, if you can. This weekend, for our Bluegrass and Old Time Festival, we're going to have Sophie Wellington with Riley Mullaney. You'll be seeing Sophie a little bit later tonight, but Sophie is a mainstay around here in the old time scene, so come catch her if you can this weekend. And on May 4th, we're going to have Cliff Notes here doing a show about his genre bending with his music and the power of collaboration. He'll be talking about how he collaborates with different artists, how he doesn't like to tie himself down to one genre, and just really wants to break down all the barriers that he can to create the art that he wants. So May 4th, if you'd like to come see Cliff Notes here. And also, once the lights come up at the end of the night, you should take a look at the walls. All of the art that we recently put up on our walls are by an artist named Lisa Bastoni. She also received an Iguana grant, not for her visual art, but it's a new way that we wanted to try to present artists and support artists in this room. She received an Iguana last year and this year for a songwriting retreat that prioritizes women, gender-expansive people, and particularly caregivers who don't have a whole lot of time for their own projects. And so this is a little getaway in Western Mass that they've done for the last, one summer, will be two. Now, and she has some beautiful artwork up on the walls. During the pandemic, as Pamela was saying, artists kind of had to scramble to make ends meet. And the way that Lisa made things work was by illustrating and animating music videos for her friends. So you will see a lot of wonderful art up on the walls, probably for songs where you might know some of the artists that the songs are for too. So those are just some of the things that we have coming up here at Passim. In other ways that we're presenting Iguana Fund artists. So please come back, check those out if you can. All right, next up, for something entirely different, we have an act. They're local folks, a group of friends that have been singing together for the last several years. They specialize in close harmony singing, and you will hear songs in many different languages from many different countries. Please help me welcome up Kulamba.
It's always so wonderful to be here. It feels like this wonderful, warm home and being with friends. Thanks so much for making it out tonight. It's such a treat to be in such incredible company with Pamela Means and Zakia and Andrew. We're so grateful to be here. And try that. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay. We're so grateful to be here, and for those of you who don't know us, we are Kulamba. Kulamba is the word for dove in the Corsican language. Corsica is an incredible, beautiful island in the Mediterranean that has a really beautiful singing tradition, and we will demonstrate a little bit of that a little bit later. But we're going to start with a song, one of our favorites. This song is from the Croatian coast, and one of the incredible close harmony singing traditions from around the world that we love to celebrate. This is Upoju se mala from Croatia.
Try to tuck in a little bit.
Upoju se mala.
Upoju se
Upoju se mala.
Stoję mati mala. Stoję mati mala. Stoję mati mala. Za udowca daje. Stoję mati mala. Za udowca daje.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight with you all and with our amazing performers, Anju, Zakia, Sophie Wellington, and Pamela Means. Give them another round of applause.
We also noticed some of our friends from Karin Marsico and Zarfan in the audience,
Yeah.
also
Fellow
Iguana
recipients.
recipients. We're so
Fellow Iguanas.
proud to be in such great company.
Yeah, it's really great to be here. I'll tell you just a little bit about our project, which is our third album to be recorded in November, probably released early 2024, and it's going to be a really eclectic sampling of all these different styles of music that we like to sing. We all come from very different musical and cultural backgrounds, and we bring that with us to this group, which is what makes it so eclectic and so unique. So our next album is going to have all of the next few songs you're about to hear. This first one is from Bulgaria. It's a wedding song with some really wild 20th century harmonies.
More zajenice juros kendali, amore tri meseca od kak mamadi, more potide u gradu Sofi, amore pasami bianca beloger, d'amore cato sedi, catos l'ensegre, amore snagatai, fidan vgradi, amore così tei sfila i brisci, amore così tei dragiula trenda, filmori citei de cernicere, shimori veditei morski piavi, zimore cato duma cercherpa, d'amore cato duma cercherpa, cercherpa dai.
Thank you. Here's a little folk song from Corsica, as promised. Beautiful, beautiful island with amazing close harmony singing. This one is about the mountains in Da Sant'Andrea di Boju, this village where it looks like the clouds are climbing up the sides of the mountains like donkeys. But if we wanted to harness the donkeys to do the work, the clouds to do the work that the donkeys do, we need some really strong ropes. That's like the punchline.
But enfant.
just want to thank Passim for being such an incredible cultural force in Cambridge and in New England. It really is a huge, it's so beautiful to see, and we're so proud and so excited to be here. And I encourage you to all support Passim in all these ways, and with the Passim, with the Iguana Fund as well, that we're so grateful to have received. Thank you so much for all that and for all the inspiration that gives us. We have one more song for you that I'll let Adam present, but we encourage you to sign our mailing list if you'd like to stay in touch. We'd love to let you know when our next shows are in Cambridge or around New England, and we have some merch there too. So thanks so much for being here.
You can just for the song.
Yeah.
We'll finish with a new song of mine called Cherry Street. The text is from the famous hymn Amazing Grace. This song might sound the most out of the blue given the last 3 songs we sang, but on our typical sets we do a lot of American hymnody, American folk hymn singing, and polyphony, for lack of a better word. So this is a new song of mine inspired by many of the great vocal traditions that we sing. Here's Cherry Street.
Named after Cherry Street in Cambridge.
That's right.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieve. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no last days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no last days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
That's Kulomba. Check them out. They do amazing things. Amazing things. All right, folks, we are starting to wind down. We have one more performance for you tonight, but before our final act, I would like to turn things over to one of our volunteers here, Chuck Honnett. He is a longtime supporter and patron and fan of Passim, and 7 years ago he helped us start the Passim Monday Discovery Series. So the second Monday of every month, we have the Discovery Series, and you are at one right now, whether you knew it or not. The series is a way that we have been trying to get new acts into the room in front of a listening audience, people who are paying attention and want to try, take a chance on music they might not know, or maybe a style of music that an artist is trying out for the first time. It's been a great way to get new folks onto the stage, and absolutely in the same spirit as the Iguana Music Fund. So to tell you about next month's Discovery Series and to give away prizes, please welcome Chuck Honnett.
Thank you very much, Abby. It's such a pleasure to be here with everyone, and welcome to the Iguana Music Fund night, and also to this month's edition of the Discovery Series. It's such a privilege to be able to be with you here and support live music in the way everybody in this room does, and the larger Passim community and the New England folk music scene. There's some things that I just wanted to mention tonight. There was a great round last Saturday night at Passim, and there's some phrases that are coming through very strong. And one of the phrases that one of the artists said on the stage the other night was, "Music moves mountains." Which is very powerful, but nothing as powerful as the music that we have on this stage. Tonight we heard the phrase "sing for love." And tonight we also heard the phrase "music is the best medicine." And we also heard music helps us heal. And that is the sentiment of this club. That is the sentiment of what we try to do here at Club Passim, and we can't do it without your support, so thank you for being here. Thank you for all the people on live stream. Thank you for people that show up for our live music, which we have every night of the week. So I'd like to just talk a little bit about next month's show on May 8th. I tend to give a little bit of a short description of some of the artists, a couple of the artists that are playing. On May 8th, mark your calendars now, we have Fern Maddie. She is a multi-instrumentalist, singer-songwriter, and experimental folk artist based in central Vermont. And here's a little bit of the description, in case you were wondering. She blending, driving, trancy instrumentals with crisp vocals and the simple lyrical rhythms of old songs. Fern's unique sound is the child of many influences: old-time string band music, the revivalist balladeers of the 60s and 70s, dark country, that's one that I've never heard before, experimental folk rock, and the modern trad renaissance. So that's a little bit about Fern. She'll be here on this stage on May 8th, Monday night of the next Discovery Series, and a group, a duo called Damsel. Damsel Doesn't Apologize. The indie neo-folk duo integrates their background as classical chamber musicians with folk music leanings to create an integral instrumental sound around tight vocal harmonies. So if you wanted to cipher all that, you can, or you can just come here to the show and see what it's all about, which is a much easier path to success. So that's a little bit about next month's show. One of the other traditions we have in Discovery Series is we like to give out the recordings of some of the artists that play. So we have a couple of signed records to give away. So the first one is the next performer who's going to be on the stage, Sophie Wellington, in just a minute. And this is for her CD. So reaching into the barrel here, we have Natalia. Come on up and get your free CD. That's great. Rolling Jewel is the name of this record. And you can buy all these kinds of things out in the merch table for those of you in the audience, and you can log on online and buy this music. And here is a recording by Pamela Means. So the next lucky winner is Pito Salas. Pito. There you are, nice signed CD. So just a quick thank you to Matt Smith, who brilliantly came up with this idea, and Abby Altman, who curates it so brilliantly. The folks in the club that keep this place running. It's just an amazing thing, and the kitchen staff Please tip Alex, your server tonight, very generously, if you'll remember that. Katie in the box office, Katie on live stream. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And hopefully we'll see you all next month at the Discovery Series, but often in the club if you want to come, and by all means become a member if you're not already a member. And we have free student memberships, and I could go on and on, but I think what's most important right now is to get Sophie Wellington up on the stage. Sophie.
Hello. This mic is, hi Brian, this mic is the perfect height for me. Well, my name is Sophie. You know this. I'm already repeating myself. I am from Virginia. I grew up in Charlottesville, or in Stanton, near Charlottesville. Came to Boston to study jazz at Berkeley. Though I didn't grow up playing jazz, I grew up playing old-time string band music, which is traditional music that originates from southern Appalachia. Well, originates is a complex idea, right? So banjo and fiddle have been played together for many, 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 many years in many different places. And that's, you know, part of the music, but underneath all of that is also this rich bed of rhythmic fun. And I'd like to share some of that with you. And I'm going to do my work these days is focused on integrating dancing and fiddling and dancing and singing in a singular musical expression. I find it very intriguing to explore that space. Also, it's like a fun challenge that I'm excited to share with you, but I'm going to just start with singing and dancing first. Don't tell my fiddle or violin teacher that I did that. So I use my feet to make some sounds, and with those sounds, I keep the beat. And sometimes I make shit up on the spot like that, and I don't really know what's gonna happen, so. This is called flat footing, or clogging. This is called the walking step. Why? Because I could do this all day, like we all walk all day. But I like to play a little bit with it. Sorry if you can't see my feet. Can you see my feet? I can see you. Congrats on your CD. And part of what I love about dancing is that I think dancing is the thing within us that holds the music for the rest of our lives. So I've spent a lot of time with my grandmother recently, who has dementia. She's about 94 years old. And she remembers people, but she doesn't remember much else. She remembers who she is, which is special, right? But we sang songs together recently, and it just blew me away. And I have a theory that the reason why music stays with us for whole life is because we let it move us. And it's fun to be able to play with that and share it with you. It's silly and it's special. And we're kind of occupying this 1, 2, 3, 4 very strict world of rhythm right now, right? But what if right? Like there's all this within it we can play with. You gotta accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the informative. It don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy through the maximum and bring gloom down to the minimum and have faith. Pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene to illustrate my work of our Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? You got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. Oh no, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Ah, Abby. Is that better? Thank you, Abby. I appreciate that. Thanks, Matt. So I've been lucky enough to be a recipient along with such wonderful performers. Let's give a round of applause for the amazing music tonight of this great grant, right? So what I wanted to use the funds for is to get equipment that can give you the experience of subtlety and nuance that's happening within what I'm doing, which is an experiment, right? Like, this is a process. This isn't necessarily always the polished end result, but because I don't think this work that I'm trying to do has an end. It's like how you wake up feeling different every day. Or if you're a musician, you come to your instrument and you feel different one day to the next. And I think what's interesting is that space and the inner listening, the inner awareness that you have of what's different and how to show up and how to say, okay, I now know where to go from there. And understanding that space is very interesting to me. So these mics I bought with the grant money, these shoes I bought with the grant money, and I like them. So thank you very much to Matt and Abby and everybody who donated, and to you for coming and your donations to future people. That's really, really special to be a part of. So I'm excited to share some of this music with you because it feels very organic, and sometimes I think people get up on stage and what they're asking of the audience is to ignore the faults. And I would really like for you all to notice my faults. I can't believe I asked you to do that. Mom, you're laughing at me at home. What I mean by that is that I'd like for you to notice how the fiddle and the feet get in sync, and maybe when they get out of sync, what happens, and how it evolves. Because I think that's where it's very interesting, and that's my favorite part about it. So that's what I ask of you. And I'm going to play a tune called Midnight from Jim Booker from Kentucky. let that train go. We're going to get on at the next stop without the earrings that are going to make it really annoying for you and me both. So, all right. Oh, stop. Oh, trains. All right, here we go. There she blows. There goes the train. Thanks. Thanks. The tricky thing is, I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening. It's the tricky thing is that how do I put it? I don't have a therapist. And so, but I kind of do, because when I come to this work, I always know that I'm trying too hard or pushing too much, and that just taking a step back does so much. Just this understanding where the space is that I have to work. So, yeah, it's an experiment, but I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to play one more, but I just do want to express my deep gratitude for everyone being here, for your grace and understanding, and your patronage, your support of this amazing venue. It is so important. So let's just give it up for Matt and Abby. And Chuck Honnett, 9 Athens Music. Yeah. Katie, Alex, Katie, they're all working really hard tonight, so thanks a lot, everybody, for putting in the work. Okay, I'm going to do a tune called Breaking Up Christmas. Where's Abby? Where's Santa Claus? Santa Claus. Breaking Up Christmas. Here on key. Another check. Just kidding.
Courage, courage, on, breaking up Christmas all night long, all night long, all night long, breaking up Christmas all night long. One more time. Thanks. That's my time. I'll see you later. Cheers.
That's Sophie Wellington. Yeah. If you would like to come back and see Sophie here quite soon, remember this weekend is our Bluegrass and Old Time Festival, and Sophie's going to be a part of that with a friend as well. And I will say, as I do after every old time show that I see, old time's good for the soul. Feels good. Love those. Awesome. Well, we've come to the end of our evening, our showcase for tonight. Thank you so much all for coming out, for supporting live music, supporting new music, supporting artists, making a living doing this so that we can have art in our lives as well. Thank you to all of the performers tonight and also the other recipients that are in the room tonight supporting your fellow artists. Thank you. Thank you to our donors, to our members, to our staff who help make all of this possible. Please do take home the programs. Those are for you to keep. One, so you can look at the beautiful iguana on the cover. I love Leon so much, and he can live in your home too. But also so that you can follow up with these artists. You can check out these projects. I'm sure there was some stuff tonight that you did not expect to hear, and I know that you enjoyed it. So I hope that this also inspires you to take a chance on new music and support some artists. Go out to some shows where you don't know the people, and hopefully you'll find some gems like you did tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Have a good night.